Hi everyone, as our last episode of season 1 is coming, this is going to be the one. I spoke to a lot of people on the podcast, and I think it's time that I question all the questions that I am asking other people, that I do it also to myself. I will go back to my childhood as well. I was born in Yugoslavia, which obviously doesn't exist anymore. But I remember having a really happy childhood. I grew up with my grandparents, and I remember it as being the most awesome time ever. I was living very close to school, and I was, child that was always on time, child that knew the responsibilities. I don't know the English word for that even, but I was a very reliable person from the very young childhood, I guess. It's funny to remember all those things growing up. I have these backflashes of, I had a lot of boys in my company when I was very young, but I was thinking, why was that the case? It's just basically there was no other girls to hang around with, and I grew up in boys' company. There was just a few boys and myself, and we got into all kinds of troubles. The things that we did, I'm not going to say it public, but it was a very, very great childhood, and these childhoods don't exist anymore because it was so different from what we are used to now. Even my kids, I have 2 kids, they grew up differently than I did, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think it was amazing, and my grandparents were amazing at their parenting responsibilities. I had full trust and full support from my grandma, whom I adored. She was really one of the most important people growing up. And I think it was there was already some signs that I was a little bit different than everybody else. I was bored at school a lot of times. I was going to school library and bringing books so that I could read amongst class. When people are learning things, I knew already everything. I learned how to read when I was just 2 years old. And I still have a photo somewhere, I think, where I'm reading the newspaper out loud to my grandma, who could not see very well when I was barely able to walk. It's a really, obviously I don't remember all of these things. Some of the things are surely, they were, it's not my memory, but somebody put that memory into my head, because obviously don't remember everything from my young childhood. But anyway, it was a lovely childhood, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Next question that I have for myself is, I've spent 11 years in the events industry and another 7 in corporate before finding my own path. What did those years give me, and what did they quietly cost you along the way? I think it's a powerful question, because I don't know, if you would talk to me 5 years ago, I probably would not see myself as an entrepreneur or somebody who's a founder of a company and is building something, not because I don't know, I'm not capable of doing this, but just simply wasn't on my agenda. And I think that, however, having all of these things in my background and everything else, from lived experience, being a late diagnosed ADHDer, and I think all this together, it's very much a great baseline for my work as well. And what did it cost me? I don't know. I think getting older, your perspectives on life change. What things that mattered 5-10 years ago don't matter that much. And I think this is a beautiful thing, actually, because unlike many people, I am really a fan of changes, and I think they are a great way to moving somewhere. I think they're a great way for getting somewhere, changing your perspectives on life. I think all of this is very good, and I always try to embrace change. And I think also if you look at my CV, you will see that I did really a lot of things in my life. But all that somehow accumulated in, founding a company, founding Calmness Collective, and just getting the business set up, and now working in the area we're working in. And I think it's a really powerful thing. Would I advise it to a lot of people? Maybe not. But I don't know. I think it's all about inventing yourself and reinventing yourself over and over and over again, just to find at the end who you truly are. I guess it's a good reflection of who I am. So next question that I have written for myself is, Calmness Collective was born from the belief that high energy environments need spaces for people to reset and breathe. Where did that conviction come from? Was it personal experience, professional observation, or both? Yeah, it was both, and probably some other things as well. But I do remember, even before getting my diagnosis, that loud, crowded environments drained me. And since I don't know, 10, 15 years, I'm also a speaker at various events. I also host events. I'm a panel host. I'm a workshop host. So I do a lot of things with people. But at the same time, quite the contrary, I am also, these things drain me. And I was noticing on myself that, for example, during an event, even when I was speaking at an event, somewhere along the way, I had to just go outside of the event. Either this was some park or, I don't know, sometimes I went to the hotel room just for 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and just to recuperate myself, get back on my feet, clean my head a little bit, stay in silence, and came back to the event. I always got this impression, there has to be a better way how to create events. There has to be, you can somehow do something, make something that people don't need to leave during the event just to be able to catch a breather, or just to be able to clear their heads. And this is exactly what we did with Calmness Collective and our Calmness Spaces. We're basically offering events, but not just events, also offices, public spaces, schools, and everybody else, a way to step away from the hustle and bustle of whatever it is, and just clear your head a little bit, focus on something else, take some few deep breaths, and just enjoy the environment that is there for you to be able to reset in as shortest amount of time possible. I think it's a combination of both. And to answer the question, I always spend some time at the event in our Calmness Spaces as well, with the headphones on, usually with my eyes closed, because this works for me as well. And the best thing is, although sensory spaces were invented in the 70s in the Netherlands for children with autism, they really work for everybody, and I couldn't recommend them more. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm aware that most of the people coming to our Calmness Spaces at events are not neurodivergent, so they're just regular neurotypical people. And everybody's obviously in awe once they see this and once they experience it. So, yeah, it works. It really does. Next one. You're a PhD candidate researching mental health and neurodiversity in events, a space where very little research has existed until now. What drew you to that research, and what are you discovering that you believe the industry urgently needs to hear? Well, the urgency here is that the people just need to start being aware that there is a lot of mental health issues and everything else connected to it in the events industry. There are a few reasons for that. One of it is that the industry is full of neurodivergent people, which are we are usually great at what we do until we are not, until we burn out. This is just how it is. And people can admit this or not, but it is hard to self-regulate if you don't know yourself very well. It is hard to balance your life in the events industry. And one of the reasons that it is so challenging is also that it is full of freelancers. So events industry is typically freelance based. And everybody is just working their asses off once they are hired, just simply because they want to make a good impression and they want to do good at what they're doing, and they want to do the best they can. And they will go above and beyond to deliver that. Do they have the necessary tools to cope with all the stress? Probably not. Do they have awareness of when enough is enough? Probably also not. And the result is that, the industry is just struggling. And I do think there is a better way to take care of your crew. And it's not a secret. Calmness Collective was actually firstly invented for crews at the event, so people working in the events industry. So not necessarily the artists, although of course as well, but just really the professionals behind the scenes that nobody sees. And I can guarantee you that people are simply not aware all of the background work that's going on in order to make an event happen. It doesn't matter if it is a 100K people event or 1,000 people event, doesn't matter, or 100 people event. The background work and logistics are massive, and it's a lot of work to make it happen, even though sometimes it doesn't look like. This is basically why I decided to do a research, because when I started during COVID, I started to focus again on a PhD, it was basically, I started noticing that there is little research done, although all those things are pretty public. But there is also one of the reasons why I think that there is so little research being done, is that people who are in positions that could do some necessary changes with this, I really mean like high-level people that make decisions, there is such stigma around mental health and everything in events industry. People are just not talking about this, which is sad, obviously. But I'm not going to say it's dangerous, but it's definitely not doing anybody any favor. I think that, I'm really happy to see that the landscape is slowly changing, that people are slowly getting more aware that some things need to be done. There are lots of organizations who are trying to do the work, and I think it's just all these little bits and pieces of the puzzle that are getting together, and we're just trying to make this industry better for everyone. I think it's long overdue as well. I think that a lot of burnouts, a lot of depressions, a lot of issues happened which didn't have to happen if there would be things in place that would prevent it. And calmness spaces, I just think that it could be better, should be better, and things will have to change for sure. Okay, wrapping up, because I don't want to bore you too much with my story. Looking back across season 1, the guests, the stories, the conversations. First of all, I'm not even somebody who listens to podcasts a lot. This is something I need to put out there. The reason why I decided to do a podcast is that a lot of people were saying to me, you're so good at speaking with people. You always people feel welcome. People love to share stories with you. Why don't you do a podcast? And I was like, yeah, why don't I? And I bought all the equipment. Obviously, I don't have a podcasting studio. This is just my office/space. And it's loud and it's noisy and dogs are barking from time to time. But the amount of people that went through the podcast, I think we're coming slowly to 37, 38th episode in just one season. I think it's massive. And it showed me two things. First is people are craving spaces where they can share their stories and they feel that they are heard. I wanted to do things differently, and the difference is that these podcasts are not edited. So basically what I do is I just put an intro and outro on it, balance some noise levels, and this is it. This is the way that I speak to people, is the way that you hear it. Does this make it unique? I would say yes, in a way. I think people are used to picture perfect podcasts. Mine is not like that. It's all about making mistakes, because we know life is full of mistakes, and I absolutely see no reason that I would be polishing my podcast and make it a fake one, because this is not life, and I don't want to be presented like this. I'm a messy person. I make mistakes, and I don't want my podcast to be any different than this. All in all, I think it was a great season. I've met so many amazing people. I've stayed in touch with most of them. And honestly, I'm really it's a lot of work. Don't fool yourself. Having a podcast is a lot of work. Even if you don't do any edits, it's a lot of work. It takes dedication. But yeah, I'm really happy that I'm really happy that the season is coming to an end, because I do want to take some time off as well from the podcast, get some new ideas on, and really looking forward to autumn when we start with the season 2. Wishing everybody a great summer. Thank you. Thank you for being here.